Welcome back. What we are seeing unfold inside the Dallas Cowboys organization right now is something far deeper than the usual mid-season frustration, and today's story is shaking the fanbase because it involves a rare public moment from offensive coordinator Brian Schottenheimer, a coach known for staying calm, controlled, and measured. But this time, that calm exterior finally cracked. In a surprising and uncharacteristic moment, Schottenheimer lost his patience and openly revealed what he says is a major problem with this team, one that has been brewing quietly behind the scenes for weeks. And the way he said it, the timing of the moment, and the reaction inside the building have created a storm of speculation about what is truly happening in Dallas. This isn't drama for the sake of drama. This is a genuine warning sign from one of the most experienced offensive minds in the league, and it has raised questions that the organization can't avoid any longer. As cameras rolled and reporters leaned forward, Schottenheimer's tone shifted from frustration to something bordering on disbelief. He said the issue wasn't talent, wasn't injuries, and wasn't preparation, not the usual excuses fans hear when a team hits rough patches. Instead, his message pointed toward internal discipline, accountability, and consistency. He hinted that several players aren't sticking to assignments, that meetings are becoming repetitive because the same errors keep showing up, and that too many players are trying to freelance on game day instead of staying within the structure of the offense. In his words, you can't keep coaching the same mistakes every week and expect to be a championship team. That comment alone sent shockwaves through the room, because it was the first time all season anyone from the coaching staff publicly acknowledged that there's a deeper, systemic problem happening inside the Cowboys' offensive unit. And you could feel that the frustration had been bottled up for a long time before finally spilling out. But the surprising part is that this moment didn't come after a humiliating blowout or a disastrous offensive collapse. It came during what should have been a routine media session, a time when coaches usually give generic answers and move on. And yet, Schottenheimer couldn't hold back anymore. Insiders are now saying that he has been trying to fix communication gaps between the coaching staff and the players for weeks. Routes aren't being run at the right depth. Timing is off between the quarterback and receivers. Blocking assignments are getting missed in situations that were already practiced multiple times. And the worst part? These aren't rookie mistakes. These mistakes are coming from veterans, from players who know the system, from players who are expected to lead. When a coordinator hints at that publicly, it means the internal conversations have already become urgent and intense. The tension has reportedly been building behind closed doors. Coaches have held extended film sessions, pulled players aside one-on-one, and even reshuffled responsibilities in practice to try and correct issues that shouldn't even exist this late in the season. But according to people close to the team, the frustration comes from the fact that it feels like the same conversations are repeating every week. And in the NFL, when conversations start repeating, it usually means a disconnect between what the coaches are teaching and what the players are executing. Schottenheimer didn't name names, but the clues were enough to send fans scrambling online, trying to figure out exactly who he might be referring to. Some are pointing towards certain receivers who have had miscommunication with Prescott. Others are pointing toward offensive linemen who have struggled with consistency. And a few even wonder whether the quarterback himself is at the center of the issue. But what's clear is that the problem is not isolated, it's affecting the entire rhythm of the offense. Schottenheimer emphasized something else during the interview that really caught people's attention: urgency. He said this team is dangerously close to letting small issues snowball into major consequences. The Cowboys have talent across the roster, but talent means nothing when execution is inconsistent. He described drives where everything clicks perfectly: fast tempo, crisp routes, solid protection, and then the very next drive collapses because of mental errors. That inconsistency is what drives coaches crazy, and it's exactly why he lost his patience publicly. It's not that the team is incapable. It's that they're not committed to fixing what he calls preventable mistakes. And when a coordinator uses terms like preventable mistakes, that's code for discipline problems. That's code for focus problems. That's code for players not fully buying in or locking in for the full 60 minutes on game day. Fans have noticed the same thing. One week the Cowboys look like a top 5 offense. The next week they look disjointed and sloppy. That inconsistency is not just a scoreboard issue, it's a cultural red flag. And when cultural issues surface, assistant coaches are usually the first to speak out before the head coach steps in. That's why this moment is being viewed as a sign of something larger. Many believe Mike McCarthy is aware of the problem and is letting Schottenheimer voice the frustration for now. But if things don't improve immediately, the next person to address it may be McCarthy himself. And once the head coach steps in publicly, it means accountability changes are coming: lineup shifts, reduced playing time for certain players, reorganized responsibilities, and in extreme cases, sideline confrontations. Another part of Schottenheimer's comments suggests that the players may be feeling pressure from the outside noise. The Cowboys live under a microscope, with every play analyzed, every mistake highlighted, and every storyline magnified. But pressure is not an excuse in Dallas. Pressure is part of the job. And when the offensive coordinator starts talking about players needing to handle that pressure better, it usually means some players are starting to crack. He spoke about preparation not translating to game situations. That is a classic warning sign. It usually means mental focus is dropping during crucial moments, whether it's a third down conversion, a red zone possession, or a 2-minute drill. NFL games are decided by inches, by seconds, by quick decisions that require complete clarity. And when a coach says players are losing focus at the wrong time, it's a signal that confidence is slipping. What's even more alarming is that the reaction inside the locker room reportedly wasn't shock, it was acknowledgement. Multiple players have apparently admitted behind the scenes that the offense feels out of sync and that they're frustrated with themselves. That's not the kind of energy you want entering the second half of the season. Momentum matters in the NFL. Chemistry matters. Belief matters. And when the offense starts questioning its identity, the entire foundation becomes shaky. That may be part of why Schottenheimer finally reached a breaking point. He sees what this team can be when everything is working. He knows how explosive they can become. But he also sees how quickly that potential is being wasted by lack of detail and lack of discipline. And in the NFL, wasted potential is the biggest sin a coaching staff can witness. There is also growing speculation that part of the internal frustration involves changes to the offensive scheme. Some believe that certain players are struggling to adapt to adjustments Schottenheimer has made mid-season. Whether it's route combinations, pre-snap motion usage, or protection shifts, it seems like the offense is overthinking at times. Players hesitate, plays break down, timing collapses. When a coach tries to evolve the offense and the players can't keep up with that evolution, the entire unit becomes unstable. And a frustrated coordinator is a sign that he feels the message is not being absorbed. The question now is whether the coaches will simplify the playbook or force the players to catch up. Neither path is ideal this late in the year, which is why the situation feels urgent. Another layer to this story is the leadership dynamic. Leaders on this team, Dak Prescott, Zach Martin, CeeDee Lamb, now have a responsibility to respond to Schottenheimer's message. When a coordinator publicly calls out discipline issues, it's often a challenge to the locker room leaders to tighten things up. The next few practices will reveal whether the message landed. Did players show up more focused? Did communication improve? Or did frustration turn into finger-pointing behind the scenes? Great teams respond to criticism with action. Struggling teams collapse under the weight of it. And the Cowboys are at that crossroads right now. For fans, this is a moment to pay close attention to. The Cowboys have the pieces to compete with anyone in the league, but they also have a history of unraveling at the wrong time. This might be the moment that determines which direction they go this year. If Schottenheimer's message sparks accountability and urgency, this could be the turning point the team desperately needs. But if the issues continue, This could mark the beginning of an internal slide that becomes impossible to reverse. The offense cannot afford miscommunication, mental errors, or inconsistency any longer. Not if they want to be taken seriously as contenders. What's certain is that Brian Schottenheimer didn't lose his patience just because of a few bad plays. He lost it because he sees something deeper, something threatening the identity of the offense. And coaches don't speak like that unless they're sending a message to the entire building. Now it's up to the Cowboys to respond, to regroup, and to redefine who they want to be for the rest of the season. This story is far from over. In fact, it might be just beginning. If things improve, fans will look back at this moment as the spark that saved the season. If they don't, this moment will be remembered as the warning sign everyone ignored. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the latest Cowboys drama and want to stay updated on every twist and turn, make sure you leave a like on this video and subscribe to the channel for more breaking Dallas Cowboys news.